and University National Security Institute Cyber and Tech Center founder, Jamil Jaffer. Hi there. This is a wild start to the morning. Let's begin with the issue itself. What causes something like this?
Well, so we've heard from CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz, who's been out talking about it and posting some on X. What he has said is there was an update that CrowdStrike pushed dealing with some question of content to its defensive platform that caused a series of outages on Windows platforms. It hasn't affected their products for Macintosh or Linux, but it has affected their Microsoft products. And as a result, we've seen cascading outages with Microsoft Azure, Microsoft 365. And so people who rely on CrowdStrike directly, companies, and companies that rely on Microsoft are all facing challenges in part as a result of this update that had some challenges. They have identified a fix and have pushed that fix out. It's now taking some time to deploy that across these enterprises. Once that's in place, hopefully we'll see some of these problems start to go away.
Am I naive to think that there would be safeguards in place to prevent such a widespread outage, right? If some glitch like this happens, that there would be backups to the system?
Well, no doubt. Look, CrowdStrike is a $3 billion annual revenue company, plus they're a public company. They spend a lot of time. They push, thousands of these updates, every few years. And so this is a common process. And they have a QA process, a quality assurance process, by which they ensure that these updates don't cause something to break. This is obviously a situation where something did break. And then the question is, well, what do you do about it once it happens? You can either restore from backups, as you say, or CrowdStrike can push a fix as they have, and you can update that fix and run that in place. Of course, it'll just take some time to figure out, hey, there's a problem. What caused the problem? How do we fix it? And now to roll that fix out.
So relatable, I guess, on a personal level. Yesterday, I had to restart my modem. I was trying to get my printer at home to connect with my Wi-Fi and my Bluetooth, and it took hours, and I had to reboot everything. And then it took a while to get things back online. With a situation like this, so massive, how long are we looking, and how gradual will the onslaught be for things to come back up?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, look, you're obviously seeing that CrowdStrike has figured out what the problem is. They pushed the fix out. Microsoft's deploying that fix. Microsoft says its systems are now up and running. And then we're seeing this happen across the country. I'd say, we're looking at probably a day or so, maybe a day and a half at a minimum. And then you'll see it slowly start to come up as people bring their lower priority systems up as well. So you'll see critical systems come up faster within each company that has this challenge. And then they'll do their outside systems as well. And so it may take a little bit of time, a few days, but hopefully no long-term damage other than a lot of delayed travelers, some unhappy people, and some business deals, of course, and the like delayed as a result.
Yeah, we'll learn a lot from each one of these situations because we're so reliant. What can we learn when these things happen to better the systems for the next time?
Well, look, I work at a venture capital firm. We invest in these cybersecurity companies. And part of the thing you learn here is that there is a reliance on some of these larger companies, and you want to spread out your reliance. You want to make sure that you've got a diversity of vendors. It's one of these supply chain problems that we've learned about that have been historically a large issue, right? You might not depend on company A, but company B that you do depend on might rely on company A. And so just because you're not a direct CrowdStrike or Microsoft customer, you might rely on companies that have those dependencies. And so understanding your own network, your own system, your suppliers, what they rely on, and making sure you put in place procedures to mitigate and provide for that. That's important to think about. And then at the end of the day, you got to bake trust, safety, and security into all your systems. You need to build your software to be secure by design and resilient by design. That's an important part of this process as well.
Yeah, and patience through it. And in case you were concerned, I did get the printer working. I was able to download and upload my documents for school registration. So we're all good at my house. Let's hope that it takes that much time or less to fix this big issue. Jamil, thank you.
Thanks for having me.